Hey guys, it's Sam here. Hope that you're all good. Today I wanted to talk a little bit about Grand Union Finance, my brokerage, and give you a bit of insight into how we're trying to, only 2 to 3 months in, try to basically turn this business into something, this fledgling young business into something really great. And it might come as a bit of a surprise that the company that I'm looking at to aspire to be like has got nothing to do with property, nothing to do with financial services, a little bit to do with property actually. Somebody might comment down below about why they think this company is to do with property. We'll talk about that later. But nothing to do with property-ish, nothing to do with property finance, nothing to do with financial services, nothing to do with my industry at all, but that company is McDonald's. And so, yeah, those of you watching might be scratching your heads and going, hang on a second, Sam, why are you modelling your brokerage on a fast food chain? Hi, Tony, thanks for joining. Well, I will give you an insight into why I want Grand Union Finance to be like McDonald's. If you think about the model at McDonald's, no matter which branch of McDonald's you go into, whether it's in the UK, whether it's in America, whether it's in Singapore, whether it's in South Africa, you know what you're going to get. You pretty much get exactly the same thing. Yes, I know they have specials and all this kind of stuff, but you pretty much get, if you order a Big Mac, you get a Big Mac. If you order a quarter pounder, maybe if you're in France, you get a Royale with cheese. If anyone knows what I'm talking about there, then drop a comment below. But effectively, you know what you're going to get. And the reason behind that, and I really recommend watching a film called The Founder with Michael Keaton and all about Ray Kroc, who established what modern day McDonald's is. Really recommend watching that film. What you'll see is that the basis behind the success of McDonald's was not the fact that they made the best hamburgers in the world, although I do want my brokerage to be thought of as the best advice you can possibly get. But the basis behind the success, the system. They had, a really incredible, or they still have, a really amazing system. And the proof of why this system is so great is actually the biggest joke about McDonald's going. And I think it's not a joke at all. I think it's incredible. The joke is that kids are working McDonald's. Oh God, yeah, you're working at school. Oh, what do you do in the evening? Oh, I work at McDonald's. How incredible is that? That a system that is part of, a company that is worth billions can be run on a day-to-day basis by children. And it all comes down to the system. It all comes down to the fact that every single tiny, minute part of what goes on behind the scenes in McDonald's, behind where those checkouts are, is exactly the same whether you're in the UK, South Africa, America, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, wherever. That system is always exactly the same. It's franchised effectively. And I was reading a book recently called The E-Myth Revisited, a really highly recommended book if you haven't read it. And it's all about the structure of business, and that actually what a lot of people unfortunately do is they go into business, and then what they do is they just create a job for themselves, and they don't actually create a sustainable long-term business. And what I was talking to Engi, my business partner, about relatively recently before we made our first hire, which was Ruby, our new operations manager, was that we needed to think about our business as if we're 10 years down the line. What does Grand Union Finance look like in 10 years' time? And where our ambitions were, we needed to run that company as if it is that company 10 years down the line. We actually have to think of ourselves as an established large business, and we have to think, what do we need to run successfully on a day-to-day basis? That's when this story came up, when I started to tell Engin about how I had this ambition that Grand Union Finance should be a little bit like McDonald's, basically. So what we're trying to achieve is an incredible system. One that we can bring people into our business that don't necessarily have all that much experience in our sector, but because we have such a sophisticated and well-oiled process and workflow and system, that pretty much anyone could come in and do certain parts of the job. Now, that's not to say that we're not going to try and get the best in the business to come in and help us succeed and grow what we hope will be a fantastic company. But what it does mean is that we can look more about the personality of that individual, whether they fit into our team, whether they've got drive and ambition. We're not just reliant on their skill set. And what this will mean for us further down the line is that we can create what I'm hoping will be an enviable culture within our industry, and maybe even beyond that. All of our ambitions, all of our hopes and dreams for the company are not really financial. They are, of course, any business wants to succeed and be financially sound and earn its owners a handsome sum. But actually, what we really want to achieve here is something that we don't believe currently exists in our marketplace at the moment. And that is a brokerage that is effectively like a fast food chain. And I'll tell you again why this sort of started to come about and why we believe that systems and processes are so vital. And that is because the biggest problem that mortgage brokers face across the country is overwhelm. It's because as brokers traditionally, we have to spin so many plates. We have to be a business development manager. We have to be a marketing manager. We have to be a sales manager. We have to have the sophistication to be able to broker a deal. We have to be able to speak to lenders and actually, put together the best terms. We have to be researchers. We have to be administrators. We have to be paraplanners. We have to be compliance officers. And that is just too much for anyone, no matter how talented you are, to be able to cope with on a day-to-day basis. And what it means is that you end up, the busier that you get, you start upsetting clients. And I imagine it's a familiar phrase that you would have heard if you're in property at all, is an investor saying, "I can't get hold of my broker." Now that is the secret, ladies and gentlemen, is that the broker is not doing it because he's lazy or she's lazy. They're not getting back to you because they don't care. They're not getting back to you because they physically cannot do it. Brokers work stupid hours, they work weekends, and they're expected to do a large amount of work. And I just truly believe that we need to shake that up and we need to change that in order to service more clients, increase that level of service, and make that service more consistent. And I think that's just as important. That third point is just as important as the preceding two, is that it needs to be consistent. And this comes back to the McDonald's model. Every time you go into a McDonald's, no matter where you are and you order a Big Mac, it's pretty much exactly the same. And what we want to establish is a process where everyone's got their certain job, everyone knows exactly what they're doing. It's a very well-oiled machine. And that means the client, whether they're on mortgage 1, 10, 150, they get the same level of service from us at every single point throughout that process. Now, we're nowhere near yet. We're literally touching the end of the iceberg. We haven't had any complaints yet, so things are obviously moving in the right direction. Ruby, who I said was our first hire, our operations manager, she came in a couple of weeks ago and has absolutely hit the ground running. And this just proves our point, our thought process, is that Ruby has been in marketing, she's been in accounts management, and she's been in operations previously, but she has no experience of financial services. Now, we're very, very lucky the fact that Ruby is amazing and she's picked all this stuff up very, very quickly in terms of the actual product, but she's come in really to sorry, my camera's falling all over the place. She's come in to help us create. I knew that was going to happen. I need to get a new tripod, I think. But she's come in basically to help us organise the company better, to create a better process so that we can just look after as many clients as we possibly can. So effectively, in a nutshell, that's it. That is the reason why I base the future of my mortgage brokerage in the UK on the biggest fast food franchise chain in the world. Hopefully that was helpful and insightful, and it might give you a bit of food for thought for your company. Whatever you do, whatever product you sell, whether you're whether you're selling a service, whether you're a property developer, whether you sell pillows down the market, you can probably benefit from thinking a little bit more about the structure of your business and the operations, more than just getting up every single day and just grinding and working in your business. I say to people all the time, think about working on your business, not in your business, and you will be a hell of a lot more successful. Now, hopefully this video is really, really helpful for you. If it was, leave me a comment below, give us a little like. Make sure that you follow my page both on Facebook and on Instagram at the Sam Norris. And also, if you're watching this on YouTube, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, because I post videos as often as I possibly can, and you can check out some of the playlists and other videos coming up in a little while. But for now, I shall leave you to your day. Hope you're all well. I'll catch you on the next video.